Meanwhile, the Climate and Energy Minister, Chris Bowen, has tried to play himself into the coalition debate, offering to make government agencies and departments available for briefings. I caught up with the Shadow Minister, Dan Tehan, and asked whether he'd take up the government's offer.
Absolutely, Chris. We've been wanting to ask questions of these agencies for quite some time, and we want to get the facts, especially around the cost of Labor's reckless renewables rollout and their reckless pursuit of net zero. We want to know what the costs are, and so we'll absolutely take that offer up, and we want them to be absolutely transparent with the Australian people, because Chris Bowen isn't, about the cost of the Labor approach. And I'm looking forward to having those questions answered, also to find out why they haven't mapped or modelled their reckless renewables rollout, and why they won't be transparent and upfront with releasing the modelling on their approach to do with the ISP. So all these questions I look forward to putting to these agencies, and hopefully getting very transparent answers.
Yeah, because this is the interesting thing. Chris Bowen is so confident, smug if you like, about the capability of renewables to deliver affordable and reliable energy for this country, despite all the evidence. You know, we've got prices continuing to go up. We've got reliability that's worse than it's ever been. We've got the International Energy Agency says you can't get to net zero on current technology. Yet Bowen is so confident. So these government agencies must be telling him that this can be done.
Well, that's what we've got to put to them. Are they telling him that? Are they warning him that if he keeps going with the reckless approach that he's taking, we've seen electricity prices go up by 39%. Are they likely to double again? That's my deep concern. And if you look at the international comparisons, that's likely where electricity prices will go under Chris Bowen. So we need to be able to ask, what are the warnings, what are the modelling that's being done, and are they prepared to be transparent about the costs? And if Chris Bowen is keen to offer us the chance to do that, we're going to do it. And as I've said, the hope is that they will be upfront, because the whole of Chris Bowen's approach is built on this idea that he's going to continue to put renewables into the system, and he believes make electricity prices go down. Yet everything points to the fact that it will continue to drive costs up, especially when you look at the cost of transmission that is still yet got to go into the system.
Chris Bowen's gone into print again, mocking really the nuclear option. He seems to be convinced that nuclear won't work in Australia, even though we're one of the largest exporters of uranium. And of course, nuclear energy is being dramatically expanded in so many developed nations, from China through South Korea, the US, Europe, the UK. How could Chris Bowen be so out of touch with what's happening with energy markets in the rest of the world?
There's a nuclear renaissance taking place right around the world, and Chris Bowen doesn't want Australia to be part of that. I met with Mike Goff, who's the assistant to Chris Wright, the Energy Secretary in the Trump administration. He said to me the thing that keeps him up at night is, where are they going to get their uranium supplies from? That's something that we could have had as part of that critical minerals deal with the Trump administration, yet we just left it on the table. And overnight, Bill Gates has just been able to announce that TerraPower, his first-of-a-kind nuclear reactor, has just been approved to get built in the US. So you've got Bill Gates and his fortune backing nuclear, and here in Australia, Chris Bowen acting like a complete and utter relic, which will leave Australia behind. And if you are absolutely dead serious about reducing emissions, why wouldn't you put nuclear on the table? It really shows that Chris Bowen is all about the ideology, and he's not about getting good practical outcomes.
Yeah, either that or Chris Bowen's smarter than Bill Gates. I don't know which one I'd put my money on. Hey, look, obviously you've got to come up with your policy. Obviously,
I'm with you, Chris. I like a bet.
Yeah, I like a bit. Now, obviously, you're going to look at nuclear as a part of any energy future in Australia. You can't rule that out. You've got to get rid of the ban. You'd be mad not to. But a lot of the arguments framed around net zero, to back net zero or not, to me, the focus is wrong because it's net zero by 2050 that's the problem, right? It's fair enough to say that ultimately, if technology enables it, you'd all want to be net zero eventually. But the idea that we can do that by 2050 is the problem, isn't it? It will wreck the country. Well, it can't be done according to the technology, but if we tried it, we'll just wreck our economy.
So what we have to focus on, and you're absolutely right, is what's happening in the next 5 years, what's happening to electricity prices, what's happening with Labor's reckless renewable rollout. How do we fix that? And the first thing that we should be looking to do is step on the gas, because everyone is saying that that's what is needed, and yet Chris Bowen and this Albanese Labor government in the last 3 to 4 years has not released a new lease to enable any gas exploration to take place. So there are lots of things that we can do, and we've got to be focused on driving costs down. Labor isn't. Their approach is a high-cost approach, and they won't tell us what that cost is. We have to be focused on bringing that cost down. And obviously we've got this meeting on Friday where we'll have further discussions as part of the process we've been undertaking over the last few months as we come together to form our approach. But you're absolutely right. It has to be all about cost.
Thanks for joining us, Dan. I look forward to the meeting on Friday.
Thanks, Chris.